that's the other reason why an encampment is so attractive to somebody on the street, because as you know, like, if you got no place to sleep, you've got no place for your stuff.
That's right.
Some people look at that and they're like, why do they have all that stuff with them? Why do they have a cart full of stuff? Why do they have big bags full of stuff? But you've got nothing else. Then everything you do have becomes really, really important to you. Hello and welcome to the Restorers Podcast. I'm Jack Crowley, president of Water Street Mission, and this is
Ron Gibson, senior life coach at Water Street Mission.
Yeah, Ron, it's great to have you once again on the Restorers Podcast.
Man, this is really something.
Today on the Restorers Podcast, we're going to be talking about something a little different that maybe people in Lancaster aren't as familiar with.
That's
right. But across the country, in places where there aren't sufficient shelters and facilities to help people who are experiencing homelessness, we often see encampments crop up where people, together they find safety in numbers. Right. People will find there's a place where they can kind of all pitch tents or build makeshift shelters and try to find ways to make do while they're on the street. Right. And those encampments, and there's a lot of feelings all kinds of ways, both directions around whether encampments are a good thing, whether they're a unhealthy thing, what's the best. But the reality is that's life for some of our neighbors here in the U.S. and even in our community, right? Yeah. So, we don't see big ones in Lancaster, do we?
But the park behind us, it just came to my mind. I take my daughter to work every morning. We come down, we circle our campus, and it's a baseball diamond over there. Yeah. And sometime up in the corner they have tents. And
so, there could be two or three at a time. Sometimes it's usually not a ton, but there's a few. There's usually a few people staying in the park. That's right. You may have read in the paper about the encampment behind Walmart and others that people are aware of. Again, it can be anywhere from like 3 to 10 people is what we typically see here in Lancaster. Up in Harrisburg, there's a big one, right? There was a one right by the highways on PennDOT's property. They're actually trying to clear that out, and they've created a kind of an approved encampment in a parking lot where people can kind of claim a spot and set up a tent, and the city is allowing them to stay there. So there's a lot going on with encampments, but it is a reality for some of our neighbors, and we wanted to talk a little bit about it. So we have some individuals who are living in encampments who have shared their stories with Invisible Neighbors, and we're going to take a listen and talk a little bit about what it's like to live in an encampment.
Curtis.
Yes.
We're here in Philadelphia.
Yes, sir.
You're homeless.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about it.
I moved to Philadelphia 8 years from Kansas City, Missouri, chasing my dream to be an R&B artist, and ran into some bumps in the road with housing, and basically I'm fighting to be able to love my child, both of my children, my 17-year-old Logan and Tristan, my 7-year-old. And being homeless it's hard. It's not easy. It's so much that you can go through in one day. You can get killed out here. You can get stabbed. Someone can blame you for something that you didn't do. But everyone out here has a heart. We all do. We all have families that love us.
A lot of people are just in survival mode. You know, they've been out here for so long, surviving, or they're raised. This is, they're some of the stories of family and how they're raised.
I moved to Philadelphia chasing my dream.
Yeah.
And I'm still chasing, and I'm not done. It's not finished. My story's not done yet.
How young are you?
39.
No way.
I'll be 40. I'll be 40 March 25th. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And I don't look my age.
No, you don't, but you're still young. You got lots and lots of time.
Yes. And I know that I'm going to make it. We're all going to make it as long as we keep on pushing, as long as we don't give up, as long as we keep pushing.
Yeah. So let's establish. I mean, you're living in a tent here.
Yes, sir.
But you're working.
I have 2 jobs.
You got 2 jobs.
Yes, I have 2 jobs. I actually work for Uber, or Habitat, and I also work for an older guy, and I take care of him, and I bathe him, and I go get his clothes and
So you're
food
doing a caregiver.
Caregiver, basically. Yes.
Caregiver, and then you're doing Uber delivery on your bicycle.
Yes, sir.
Oh my God.
So I make a little bit of money, but it doesn't really take care of everything that I need. Basically, like all I need is just the place. That is it.
The one thing I love that he said, I ain't giving up. I ain't giving up my dream, and I'm going to keep pushing.
Yeah.
But, to have 2 jobs and still be where he at, and
yeah, well, I think that flies in the face of some of the stereotypes people hold, right? And we've talked about this in other podcasts, it's worth reiterating that that everybody's story is unique, and we can't judge until we see. Like, so you see people staying in a tent in an encampment, and you think, oh, what are they? They're just slacking, they're lazy, they got no purpose in life, and here's a guy living in an encampment in Philadelphia,
trying to chase his dream,
working two jobs, still holding on to the dream,
right? And Jack, and still trying to love his kids from.
I was going to say, and thinking about his kids in the midst of that, like, how can I get to a place where I can? And I love how he says, trying to love my kids. He recognizes, like, right now, it's not going the way he wants. Like, he can't. Not that he doesn't love his kids, but he knows love is practical too, and he's not in a position to do that. But they're on his mind. It's why he's not giving up, probably.
That's probably main focus. But I just love the fact that he's not a woe is me-er. You know what I mean? He's like, I'm still pushing through, and I applaud that guy. That he is not giving up.
Yeah. Well, and I think the other thing that sticks too, and I'm not saying this is the why, but I think being in an encampment and in community is probably one of the things that allows him to continue to dream. Right. Because I know we talk with our guests, and one of the big concerns is it's hard when you're in survival mode. As the interviewer, it was interesting. The interviewer focused on survival. Right. And we're all, like, a lot of people here in survival mode, and he immediately talked about a dream. Right. Yeah. And so, like, he's beyond survival mode. He is still holding on to something out here, but we know that, like, over time, when you live in that day after day after day after day, sometimes it becomes impossible to dream. Yeah. We're thinking only about today. We're thinking only about the next meal. Right. Where am I going to sleep tonight? Am I going to be safe? As he talked about, it's not always safe in encampments. Yeah, a lot can happen. And so, but he's still holding on to that dream. That's a huge step, because I know, even as people come into Water Street and we're working with them, we're walking with them over time, getting them to think beyond today and tomorrow, to start thinking long-term goals and planning is really, really hard.
And I'm sure that gentleman, he didn't share all that goes on in there, because there is a lot of avenues to hindering him to that dream and that. Well, he shared a little bit. You get shot, you get killed, you get stabbed. And I just want to reiterate, not all homeless people is trying to shoot you, stab you, get rid of you.
And let's be real about that. There's a myth out there that homeless people are criminals. Yeah, and dangerous. The reality is, people experiencing homelessness are way, way more likely to be victims of crime.
That's right.
Than to be perpetrators of crime. Like, that's just not that it never happens.
That's right. Keep it real.
But within any population, there are people who are going to commit crime. But homeless individuals, those experiencing homeless, are way more likely to be victims than they are to be perpetrators.
The wolves prey on them. Yes. People prey on them for, I don't know, just take advantage of them, because they feel like they're at their lowest points, and low self-esteem, and a whole lot of we can go on with that. Like you say, that's another podcast, right?
And that's one of the things too, as we think about this issue of encampments. It's a pro and a con here, and I don't know if this will come up in our later clips, but being in an encampment can provide safety to a certain degree, safety in numbers, being together around with other people. We talked about that community on the streets, but it can also be a place that becomes a target.
That's right.
Both by those within and those from without, and because they know they're vulnerable, they don't have the protections, they don't, and they're not even protected in the same way by maybe our society and our police and everything, because the highest priority calls and the quickest response times are probably not going to be to encampments. We're going to listen to another one of these.
Oh wow, this is the final one, huh? God bless you, Rox. I haven't signed a lease in 30 years.
Oh my gosh.
Feel like a little kid in an old lady's suit. My name's Tracy Louise Gillespie. I was born in Escondido, California. I'm 66 years old and come from a real wealthy, dysfunctional family. This has been my only real spot that I've stayed in off and on through the years.
At 66, it's got to be extremely tough.
Well, it's a lot of work and a lot of gratitude.
What's a day like? How do you survive?
How do you survive? I make sure there's food. I have had to can. You get up in the morning, you got to make sure you have your water. About 4 blocks to go to get water. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to where I've been doing this off and on for at least 20 years. I'm done. I'm just done. I'm so blessed to have this program step up and accept me for who I am. My past isn't slammed in my face. Still, I'm flabbergasted. It hasn't hit me yet. To look for an apartment, I hadn't looked for an apartment in 30 years, It's pretty amazing. Makes you really want to be somebody, and I'm ready to move.
This encampment has been here for at least 10 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
This is the largest encampment in the city. It's the highest call for service generator. Most of the residents in this encampment were born probably within 10 or 15 miles of this site. I mean, these are our people. We receive grant funds to house 200 people and serve about 300 people that are living in encampments in the Freeway Corridor. We started with about 65 people in this encampment. Approximately 40 have moved in. We have an additional 7 move-in dates and a week to go.
Hi, Johnny.
Oh, I got stressed out.
I love you.
I love you too.
This young man's come so far, and I'm so proud of him. You're my son, my brother, my friend. When that book opens, you and your old lady, be on it, get on it. He's come a long ways. I'm very proud of him.
20 years.
20 years off and on.
And then to hear that they built an encampment for people to come, and while they there getting service where she's looking to get a place. And
it's tough. And I mean, we're getting a glimpse in California from this video, right? Mm-hmm. And it's so different, yet it's not different. Right. Than what we're dealing with here in Lancaster. Yeah. I mean, the numbers and the impact are hard to fathom sometimes when you think of the number of people on the streets in California, the number of people living in encampments in places like this, tucked away underneath a freeway corridor, and then versus ones right on the street in the middle of the city.
I just applaud the people who are serving them. Yeah. Like they got grants and stuff to help
Let's
them
help
get
people get into housing.
Let's
do this. Yeah.
And they got the okay for the encampment to be where it's at. Because, what we dealing with in our little city here, it was a little encampment right across from the beer distillery where they all used to lay on the ground. Now they done cleaned it up. I don't know where those people went to, but
there's so much. I mean, we could get into all the politics around encampments and the good and the bad, and we've had that if you want to go back and watch my 24 hours on a bench, I had that conversation with a few different people because there's no easy answer. There's no easy answer. Encampments, like big picture, encampments are not sufficient and they're not safe and they're not a good thing.
Not at all.
But when there's no other answer,
it's helpful.
It's helpful. And I mean, I think you see the relational side, and we talk about this in ministry all the time, how critical healthy, supportive relationships are.
Yeah. And you see her in her mess. a guy came, she's
my
still
son,
loving
my brother,
on my
my
son,
friend.
my brother, my friend. Come on, that brings tears to my eyes.
Yeah.
That she's in her stuff, she's still loving, and she praised them for moving and doing
she's
what he
like,
done.
be ready.
Be ready.
When that next opening comes, make sure you're on that list.
Make sure you're all there. Yeah.
Like, get the help you need. They're looking out for each other, and that is so important. And that's where encampments in the midst of an environment where we don't have enough other resources can be helpful.
And they said majority of the people, from what I was reading, the lady said they lived 10 to 15 miles.
Yeah,
so
they're
I'm
local.
sure there's a lot of people that know each other in there. So they building like a tighter bond and relationship.
That's another myth in the midst of our crisis, is that homeless people are going to travel and go to these encampments from miles and miles and miles and miles away, or they're going to come. We get that a lot, like, because Water Street exists. People are coming from all over the East Coast looking for help at Water Street. And that's not true. People come to Lancaster because they've got connections and relationships.
That's how it started. That's how I came here.
Right? You didn't come looking for Water Street, but you came because you had an opportunity. Your uncle, you could stay with him.
That's right.
And then as things kind of deteriorated and fell apart, we were here.
That's right.
But it's not people moving across the country to get services. Like, people want to be where they're from.
That's right. Yeah.
And there's times it's right to get away from where you're from.
That's right. People, places, and things is a true statement.
But that's the reality when we see these encampments popping up. And again, I think, like, she talked about, what's a typical day like. And her first answer, food and water.
She walked 4 blocks every day to get water, and she's 66 years old, and she's traveling to get water and food. And like I said before,
and she didn't go much beyond that, right? She didn't go much beyond that. Like, what's a typical day like? Those are the two things she named, and that's the reality when you're out there. It is that survival mentality. What do I need to get through the day? And so why would it take 20 years for her to get to a place of being well, it's because most of those days were focused on getting through the day.
Survival, she said.
Yeah. And so finding those next steps. But again, like Curtis said in the first video, he's not giving up hope, and he's still got his dream, and he's still pressing forward.
And I think about, like, when she hit her age, right? And I know that some people are healthy, some people are not. Like, a lot of those people, like, be diabetics and dealing with a lot of, like, medical issues during their homelessness. You know what I mean?
Well, and we're seeing more and more older people. Yeah. Now, she's been in this circumstance for a while, but we're seeing more and more who, for the first time in their life, are experiencing homelessness at 66 years old. And how different that path out is going to be for them than somebody in their 30s who might be able to go get a job and eventually get to a place where they've got a sustainable wage and do those things. 66, how's she going to go out and get a new job? Like, so we don't know all the program details, but
they helping.
It sounds awesome. She's today's the day she's moving out. So
that's a blessing.
Blessings to her
blessings
on
to
that
them.
journey. We're gonna listen to one more.
My mom was a prostitute, and she had me in some environments that I shouldn't have been in. I was, really confused when I was young. Does everybody do this? Is this going on in everybody's home? Things like that. I didn't want my grandma to know what was going on in the home, because I was scared. I love my mom and my grandma. I didn't want to fight. I didn't know what to do. I was scared. I wanted them both to love me. If I said something, my mom would hate me. That's difficult for a young man to make that decision. I knew my mom loved me, but she had a problem with alcohol and everything, and she changed. When she got to a certain point where she wasn't her no more. It's hard for a little boy, because you want love. You want your mother to be proud of you and lift you up. I made the choice that, what? No, I want a better life. I want opportunity. I want something different, than what I'm doing. I'm seeing there. And
How old were you?
I was 10. We just now got here today, because everywhere we went, everybody told us to move. You can't be in this spot. Police say you can't be here after 11, on the beach. You can't be here. Well, where are we going to go then? I've paid taxes all my life since I was 16 years old. If there's not any help for us at all, everybody's got their story. Whether it be by choice or whether it be because of circumstances. Thank God there's a place where we can sit here and regroup, and I can go off and find work again, and I know that she's okay. That means the world to me, And instead of getting up and thinking about what you don't have, be thankful for what you do got. Your health. You're not in a wheelchair. you're not in the middle of a war watching your families getting their heads twisted off or anything like that. We've got a lot to be thankful for right now.
You still have your dad's Bible.
Absolutely.
And you carry that around with you.
Yes.
Make sure that's safe. And
carry that around right here. He's carried this and dirty clothes bag, and that's why I said people look at him like when you have a sack over your shoulder.
That with this is like something with us that is gives us like protection.
It's been rained on, and
it's like the only sentimental thing we have left. You know what I mean?
He meant so much to me.
Yeah, it's a piece of her father that she can't.
Don't make me cry.
She feels close when this is with her, you know. So we protect this. It's Valentine's Day, so here we go. Ready?
Don't sing to me.
Here we go. When I just saw you.
I heard him mention a safe place.
Yeah.
Encampment, the safe place while he go off and seek work that she is safe.
Yeah.
And then the main kicker, Jack, she had a Bible and she said and it looks like you know, like you can tell a person reading their Bible by how dirty it is, right? That Bible, it looked like they be going in it, and you know, bless them. Yeah. But the main thing he said is safety. So like you said earlier, some of these encampments are safe, you know, safe havens.
Safer than the
being
other options,
out on
right?
the other options. Yeah. And I mean, God bless them. I hope and pray everything works out for them. But
that's the bittersweet part of an encampment. Like it can be safer, but it can also be a source of some really, really unhealthy situations, physical safe. So we're not going to unpack all of that on this podcast, but I think like, what are people craving? Why do they desire encampments? Of course, it's that sense of community connection and safety that comes from that. And the reality of knowing like, hey, if the community, if the city has allowed this encampment to exist here, I can breathe a little bit.
And she hit a main one with the Bible. She said, we keep it in this backpack. How many people we know that keep their backpack? And I guess he feels like there's stuff. Yeah. Because I'm sure in those tents they got their stuff, and that is safe while he's out trying to work and stuff like that.
That's the other reason why an encampment is so attractive to somebody on the street, because as you know, like if you got no place to sleep, you've got no place for your stuff.
That's right.
And some people look at that and they're like, why do they have all that stuff with them? Why do they have a cart full of stuff? Why do they have big bags full of stuff? You've got nothing else. Then everything you do have becomes really, really important to you. And so the idea of losing that stuff is like, I mean, it's horrendous, and how disruptive. And we know so many stories where, you know, because of being pushed aside and not having a place to stay, you lose, and you lose important things.
Like birth certificates, social security card, IDs, driver's license, picture of your mom or your grandma, all kinds of stuff disappears on the travel of
and it
being
makes
homeless.
each next step that much harder, because you're starting over again, and it's challenging. I think, you know, final takeaway for me on this is at the very end of that clip, it's Valentine's Day and he's going to sing for his joy. There's joy.
Yeah, it is.
Like the human experience is we do experience joy. We've been built for that. God created us to experience Him and to experience joy, to experience relationships with one another. And in the midst of losing everything else, this couple still has that joy.
We see it here.
She holds on to that connection to her father through the Bible.
And he's okay with that too. He's with that too.
And they have the relationship with each other, and there's joy. People come through the door. The first couple days, it's about like there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of shame, but then we have moments of joy that start to emerge, because that's what we were created for.
That's right. That was awesome, Jack.
Yeah. Well, Ron, thank you for joining once again on our podcast here. Thank you to those individuals who were willing to share their stories of what it's like to live in an encampment. And I hope that today's podcast has been somewhat enlightening and maybe encouraging to you as you think about how God's called you to love your neighbor here through the Restorers podcast. Thanks for listening.